first sharing because Sister Shijing gave me a chance to speak, to share first. So please look at the page page 2. So we're going to review because the master, before she go out for her Xingjiao, and she finished the chapter 14, the joyous and peaceful practice. So we have a quick review about for this chapter. So go to page. Okay, so master been used 72 days to expound this 14 chapter 14. So on the page 4, as we know, Bodhisattva Manjushri have a very great compassion and wisdom, and he seeing that on the last chapter 13, which is they have some great Bodhisattva, which is have a commitment and saying that there's going to make a vow to enter the Sahara of suffering, and they're willing to stay and to uphold the Sutra lotus. So that's why Bodhisattva Manjushri asks on behalf of everyone to present to Buddha and asking how we should uphold the Sutra in this era. So on the page 15, and as we know, in a world of multi changes, so we always have a very burden of afflictions or causing difficulties in our life. So there's Buddha give us 4 methods how to practice in peaceful and joyous. So the 4 practices are asking us to keep in mind, mindful in our body, and which is equal to like our action. And because Master be mentioned as our body is just like a boat or a vehicle, which is can bring us to go wherever we want to go. So, and not just go by ourselves, and we also can, as a vehicle, we can give some other people go with us. So, and the second is the practicing of mark. So we can use soft words or kind words, not to use the harsh word to harm people. And we have to have a good mind, and we don't have a deluded thought. And we always have a positive thinking. And of course, we need to have a great one. So on the page 14, the chapter 14, so the man for practices are body, mind, and great one. So as we always say, Master always say, when we're dealing with people, we will have the action when we speak a word, and we must be careful not to cause a misunderstanding between, our communication. So very often we always maybe quite easily to create a negative karma with what we say, because when we are unhappy, so we may say some bad words to the people, or maybe we will harm others. So our master say we must uphold the right action with the right words and do the right thing. So how we can maintain a good control of our action and words? We need to practice this 4. Yeah, and because we always will have affected by our surrounding area. So the people that we meet or the method that we can solve. So we easy to have a kind of a bad negative thinking or negative mind to have a reaction. So we go to the page 6. On the page 6, Master be mentioned on her wisdom and dawn lecture. So Master saying we have a 自己上 is say 舍。So 舍弃1分钟的烦恼哈，解脱自在，想着远神的起放的相。So letting go of the affections of the previous minute, we will be at ease and not holding onto the affection or the attachment. It's easy to say, but I think it's not easy to take action, to do things. So, but we must try. Even though it's not easy, but I think we must have a deep faith on the masters, and we try to to step on the first step. So, and Master also mentioned that in this chapter 14, the summarize on the last day, I did remember, I heard she say, we also need to have another 4 practices, which is Master's been mentioned a couple of times, which is we say 四修, we have to practice it a long time, and non-stopping of like practicing or listening to Dharma. And we listen to Dharma without leaking, no leaking. And we must, with sincerity, with the persons that we meet. So everyone, we must have our honest heart to face with them. So this is 四修, 强实修, 无间, 无欲, 尊重. So we must be mindful and try to remember this. And these few words, very simple, but we remember in our heart and we apply this 4 dhammas. And when we have a rising the affection, so we must to bring out these 4 practices and remember. So it takes time to change. And so we try to, Master say, when we try to maintain the Dharma in our mind a bit further, which is equal like as non-stopping. And we try to maintain the Dharma in our mind a bit longer. It's just like we have a long time, 长时间, practice, and to apply the Dharma a bit more. It's just like we keep listening without leaking of the Dharma. So we apply a bit more. Once I remember, we can use it. The more you say, the more you can have a good image into your heart. So this is sounds difficult, but we have to believe we can, overcome this one day. So it takes time, and we need to keep listening to Dharma. This is what I can understand from the masters. Always, such a 苦心 and to advise us. So we go to the page 8. So remember on June 2nd of June, there's a heavy rain hit Taipei, and volunteers, they use the body to go to the areas that are affected, and they use the softwares to pacify victims and to console them. And the masters say if they don't have the intention of helping those suffering people, they won't devote it to this very hard and relief work with unconditional in the returns from anything. So this is also considered as a Buddhist because they do without asking for any returns. So I think masters mentioned that these volunteers in Taiwan, volunteers, they've been practicing these 4 methods in the real things that happened, and is Hu Ti Da Dao is a true training ground of the Buddhist Dharma, and it's a good way for them to you listen to Dharma and now you put the action, into such a real thing. So this is a master's mention, and in the page 9. So master also saying we must have a 3 sign way entering the realm of compassion. I think our master, because she have a great compassion heart, compassionate, and she always putting the fervence on herself, and she keep remind her disciple not to give up in this hard way, in this difficult way to go on the Buddhist path. So we must try to tolerance everything that and what it call is like we have to go through the difficulties things the way. So we must have a forbearance or tolerance on the difficult things that we're facing. So master saying, because those disaster happened in Taiwan, the heavy rain, which is causing the disaster flooding. So are their suffering having nothing to do with us? Master is asking our volunteers. Actually, it's not, because even though we are same world, living in the same world, so no matter how far or how near they are, so the volunteer, just like we always say, we are living Bodhisattva. We will definitely will participate to help the residents to clean up if as we can. So, and including we provide hot meals to those victims because they don't have a time or place to cook for their food. And Master say the Rohara Rui is just like, even though the volunteers, they have to clean up the dirty place and their uniform get dirty. So, but their heart and mind remain pure and clean. This is what I make it link to the 大慈悲为师, because they don't, the volunteer, they never care about how dirty their clothes are, their uniforms, but they're still helping with very happily, very joyous and very peaceful. And another one is just like Rohara Rui. This is I saying the Rohara Rui. And 诸法空为坐 is setting up upon the seat of emptiness, which is saying even though our body will get tired, but the minds, our helping minds still remain firm. Our aspiration of helping people are remain firm. So with the only intention of helping those in need, they continue this Bodhisattva path without regards to their tiresome body. So this is like the 付出无所求. So it's just like such a diligence, the space, they're very wide. So, and remember the master spoke of the merits of the soldier that had gained much after the battle. So in the story mentioned, so it's just like when the volunteers work on the street after they clean up the disaster area. So the residents would come out and give a praise to a volunteer. Or master mentioned that even though the residents, they even though want to give our volunteers a very hearty heart as a sign of gratitude. So master say, isn't it this is a way of repayment or the tribute or to the merit that was gained after this helping people. So this is a master's saying. So we go to the page 10. Master, she's very mindful. So she say, we 不经一事不长一智. So people gain wisdom from experiences. I think our master is a very good example because master, she didn't go to the affected area. She didn't go to the 灾区. But when she watched the TV news, and she can come out a lot of aspirations, new idea, or came out have a very good method to provide a good feedback to our volunteers, how we can go on for our future relief work, such as when masters knew that we have some volunteers feet or hands that were injured by nails, and she say we must have adequate safety equipment when we carry out the relief work next time. So she asked our Dai Keji, the development department of the Dai technology department, to try to design a very safety shoes pad, which is can prevent the nails from piercing through our shoes, or even though how we can get the instant rise, because from the disaster happened, and master she wants us to have a very quick time to fulfill our hunger. So I think all these things come from the compassion, come from the mindful, which is from master's, from her own experiences and for herself, and she bring up such a good idea for our volunteer to carry on. So this is we always say 不经一事不长一智. So we were very thankful for our master and give us a very peaceful and joyful condition to go on our Chiji mission, because master's trying to do her best and to let us walk on the Chiji Bodhisattva path in a safety way. I'm not sure whether you can understand my meaning or not, but this is what I want to say. So for the page 11, so master did before she finished chapter 14. There's have a passage, Sutra passage is mentioned that about dream. So master say we often say dreams are made of what we think when we are awake on the daytime. So I would like to share, which is I think you all may know, because master's been mentioned a couple of times in her volunteer meeting. Master say Ji Hui Shi Xiong from Jordan, the volunteers from Jordan, and because he had, suddenly one day, because last year, our brother Ji Hui, he went to the border area to help the Syrian refugees to go to the Syrian refugee camps, Syria, Naming. And because he saw the refugees people, they're fighting and arguing because of our supplies material are not enough. So some can get our what do you call the suppliers, supply and the material, but some they cannot get. So I think because the brother Ji Hui, he suddenly gave rise to the thought that maybe he wanted to cancel the program for this long-term charity program helping this refugee camp, and he would like to transfer the fund to the medical helping to the medical aid program. So at the time, at the same night, because he dreamed from master, because master say you cannot stop this project, because master say don't stop this project, and master say she will make an offering with her blood to help this refugee. So and brother Jing got shocked, and he would like to repent. When he back to Taiwan, he want to repent to master, saying because he read of patience, perseverance, and compassion, and therefore he suddenly will have such a bad thing come close to his mind, and saying that he would like to stop this helping. So, but he also learned from his dream, and he say to master, he from now onwards he will carry on our master's the instruction and the Chiji mission, Chiji works diligently in Jordan with he can. So this is master say we dream, but this dream is helping our brother Ji Hui to have a better, to form a great walls. So this is what I would like to share this one with all of you again, because I'm very touched about this story. Why master, even though she's been mentioned a couple of times. And so the last but not least, master, even though now she is outside, but she always mentioned and include to our Sanchong 4-in-1 camp, which is we all are from Malaysia. We have a training camp in Sanchong. Master always says she hopes that Malaysia can be a pure land on the earth and forever. And not just for Malaysia actually, but Master she always say, we pave every single inch of Tzu Chi path with love and forever. 寸寸爱心，不寸寸路. Because Master say, uh, we need to have a direction for the people who haven't joined our Tzu Chi. We must pave a very broad path and with full of love, so that we can invite people in our community to join us together and paving the path more wider and inspire more people to come and join. Not because of the amount of money, but it's for the more people we join, that means we will have less more good people to join. We will have less bad people in our community. So we will definitely will have a very peaceful and joyous environment to live on. So Master's it's been always mentioned, we pave with love for our Tzu Chi path. So now I give the time to our sister Jing. So and she will share some others different story to all of you. Okay, thank you.
感恩 Master De Huang for the great sharing. Now, today we have sharing from Manila, Philippines. Sister Peggy, can please take over, 感恩.
I still have some material to share. Sister Shajin.
Sorry, Sister Sutra, please continue. 不好意思.
Not complete yet. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. It's the same as Master De Huang that we reviewed in the last week. That before Shangren Xinjia, that the last week lecture for chapter 14. She complete all the chapter 14 before went to the to all the every city in Taiwan. So we reviewed the last week. Chapter 14 is still joyous and peaceful practice. That the date is from June 11 to June 16. Actually, June 17. That's for the whole week. So I'm going to share three summary that I pick up. The first one will be the 52 states for the Bodhisattva, second one is the same thing for the dream, because I think for a couple of days, Master mentioned about the dream. So what you think at daytime, then you have the dream at night. The third one is the principle integrate with practice. But you have to practice to prove it, prove the Dharma, prove the principle. Okay, the first point I'm going to share is for the Bodhisattva 52 states. So this is the summary of 52 states, the name of each. So there is 10 phase, 10 reside, 10 Dharma training, 10 transfer merits, 10 grounds. Then this is 50. So then if we reach all the 50, then the last two stages is almost equal to attain the Buddhahood, that is near perfect enlightenment and the perfect enlightenment. So this is total 52 states. What's the meaning of this? Actually, this 52 states for us, ordinary beings, that each state by state, you can transform ourselves from ordinary beings to Bodhisattva, then to attain the Buddha. So 10 phase of course, from the name, we know we need to have deep faith on the Dharma. Then when you have deep faith in your mind, then you will find the ease of your mind. Then you will keep the faith reside deep in your heart. That is 10 resides. Then after this, after you have faith, you have deep faith, then we are going to put into the practice, that is 10 Dharma training and 10 practice. Putting the training, the teaching and faith into practice. Then during the practice, then the next step is you will transfer your merit. You have action, you have practice, then your benefit, you will transfer the merit back to the beings. Then after doing all this practice, then we can reach the Bodhisattva. There are 10 grounds for each different phenomena or environment. Such as I just give a few of there is a ground called great joy. There are also a ground called radiant, and there's a the 10th ground called cloud of Dharma. So these are the 50 states for ordinary people that step by step walk into Bodhisattva, then to the Buddha. Then the last two is I already mentioned, that's near perfect and the perfect enlightenment. These are total 52 states that we can set our goal that step by step, walking to the Bodhisattva path, then to attain the Buddhahood. About the dream, Master already mentioned, when you do good deeds, then you will have a good dream at night. So one, just like our volunteer, that they're doing all kind of benefit sentient beings things in the daytime. So they definitely will have a good dream, good sleep at night. But if people doing the bad deeds, then usually you cannot sleep well, and you probably will have a terrible dream at night. But you know, even the dream is good at night, but it's dream. So I think Master also mentioned sometime we will have a dream of Bodhisattva, or a dream of, about Buddha, or even we got a prediction in our dream. But don't forget, this is dream. So don't take too serious, but you still need to just put into practice, keep doing it. But without, you know, caring too much about what you thought in your dream, because the dream is dream. So our whole life is actually another dream outside this good dream or bad dream. So eventually, we still need to put down all this dream and get into the enlightenment. Then this is also, we can actually combine all this principle to this another theory called 三轮体空 3-4 wheel of essential emptiness. Just like Master De Huang already mentioned as well, that actually in whole chapter 14, I think the main concept, there are two main concepts, like Master De Huang already shared, that is 3 tracks. 三轮 is a 三归, that we need to enter the compassionate room, and where the patient rope, but eventually, don't forget, we are sitting in the empty seat. So, which means you keep doing practice, the principle you learn, but at the end, we don't forget all this is emptiness. Don't keep the hindrance that you keep remember, oh, I do so much good things, then I should got a lot of the good merits. So don't forget, we're sitting on the empty seat. So just like Master mentioned as well, when we help do the relief or do any kind of help, there's a donor, the helper, there's a acceptor, the people that need help, and also the material or gift that we give. But all this, after we complete these whole things, we need to go back to the silent Qigong. 3, 4 will essential emptiness means all these 3 things don't keep as hindrance in your mind. So we should that when we achieve has done due to the cause and condition, we gratitude each other, but then we forget about this and keep working forward. That means Sanren Qigong. So there's also very, I think in this whole chapter 14, that we, besides these 3 tracks, we have 4 actions that we need to keep practicing in the during our practice. So I think in summary, that when we learn the Dharma, the Dharma teaching is like a principle, and we need to, if we just learn a principle, we don't put into action, I think this principle is kind of meaningless to the whole sentient being or to yourself. You cannot really realize or feel the true meaning. So you have to put into action. So only when this principle and practice can integrate together, then you got the principle, practice, integrated, 理事圆融, then I think this is the true Dharma you can really prove and really realize in your mind. So in the whole chapter 14, that don't forget, if we want to get joyous and peaceful practice, that we need to watch out that our body action, what we speak, and also what in our mind we need to during practice, how we can learn from this chapter to put ourselves in joyous and peaceful, and also don't forget the make vow to make our practice keep moving forward to in order for us, for ordinary people, that through these 50 states, then we can attain the final, the Buddhahood, the final, the enlightenment. This is this week the summary that I share with the review for every of us. Thank you. Then we back to Sister Shashi.
感恩 Master De Huang and Sister Su Jing for the in-depth sharing. Most grateful for it. Now we have now we can invite Philippines, Manila side Sister Peggy for sharing. 感恩.
Hello. Anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello. Okay. So okay. Hello. Okay. So for this for me, I'm going to share to you from last week's sharing and learnings. So for this one, I would like to open about the. Okay, sorry. So I would like to share about my experience to my city journey. So for this one, I'm actually sorry. So I'm actually need to okay. So for so um for me that Tsuti needs to so we have to keep the Dharma in every thought and every second, because um, recently I I was hoping to inspire a lot of people, and if you start to lose connection, like if you forgot, or one way or another you just felt that you're tired, and also you're starting to lose your dharma connection. So with that idea, uh, I, I was afraid that if you slowly lose your connection, the people who's actually connected to you might lose their connection. So if everyone, every people who's actually behind you or actually connected to you, they might start to lose connection as well. So if we have to refresh or keep on walking the tsitsi path. And if we lose our connection, um, every the people who is actually with you might also start to lose their connection as well. So with that, we have to go back and ask ourselves why are we walking to the tsitsi path, and also refresh ourselves um, about the learnings, or why are we inspired, and um, eh, and also if we could refresh from the day one, or how the dharma actually changed us, um, we have to remember that everything, or every single moment of your life, you should remember, and also slowly appreciate every small details. As you can see, if you are handling an activity or an event or big event, um, every every personals, or the people um, who's actually working with you is so inspiring, and they actually have have their own little stories to share. So, imagine if you have a lot of people who's working under for each task that they were given. Every one of them is has actually an experience or stories to share for the um, for how they opened. So as so those experiences is actually uh, those small experiences actually a big inspirational um, okay, so it's it's an experience for everyone, and I'm actually happy that all of them were able to inspire each other, and also spread each other's um, inspiration, and also the um, all of them we're able to grow and nurture each other. So with that idea, um, every um, every small details or small moments, it's actually mm, helpful for them, and it could help them grow as an individual, not only through their knowledge and wisdom. They were able to grow bigger and start spreading their seeds. Thank you. Kanan.
Sister shooting back to you.
Oh, okay. Cảm ơn Sister Peggy from Manila and volunteers who shared just now. Maybe any more sharing? If no more, we will pass back to Hualian side.
Okay. I think we don't have that much time.
Okay. Okay, cảm ơn Manila.
Cảm ơn.
Right. We return to Hualien. Cảm ơn.
Hi, Eugene. Yeah, thank you for Sister Peggy sharing. I remember because Master.
Wow, it was Sister Angeli.
Sorry, Sister Angeline. Oh, okay, sorry. So Sister Peggy is another person. Okay, Sister Angeline, thank you for her sharing. Because I remember if we lost connected with others, don't worry. Because I remember Master, she mentioned a story before. She take the example. If we are in the same room, which is dark, a dark room, 黑暗的室. So, but if I'm the one who everyone carry a candle, but my candles light up, and if I share my candle to the next person, my sister Suji, so we will get more brightens. But if she blew off the light, never mind, I won't give up. I will keep passing my light on her, and please don't connect with me. So we need to work together to make this room bright, make it more illuminate. So I think it's just like we say 心传心 when we have our 受证 from the ceremony. So we definitely will have this activities 心传心. We pass on the candle, 1 to 2 to 10 to 100 person, and make it the whole room with full of hope. So don't give up, of course. We work together and on our Chi path. So this is 心传心, 灯传灯, pass on the light from one place to another place. So make the room more bright. So this is analogy for the sutra as well. So it's hard to work on, but I think we must have a different. We never give up. So and include for the person that very closely related to us. So this is my feedback for Sister Angela. Thank you. So I think the time still have 8 minutes. Is anyone who want to share or?
So back to Sister Xiaoqing, more sharing.
Amitofo, Sister Suching and all brothers and sisters.
I go for
Jeffrey, yeah. This now, I think Sister Suching mentioned the integration of principles and practice. Yeah. This how do you explain the 以事显理 instead of 以理显事? Most of the time you try to tell the principles and share the truth. But in Shiji, we Master always emphasize 以事显理. How do you put this in English? Sister Suching or Master Zewang, can you help us on this 以事显理? 感恩.
So 以事显理 means you use the practice to show the true meaning of the principle. Just like I mentioned one slide today, that we learn the Dharma is a principle. But the Dharma you just learn, actually we won't be really realize the true meaning. So we need to practice. During the practice, then you will reflect, oh, that's what Dharma, the master told us. Oh, this is the principle or the Dharma that we learn. So when these two are integrated together, actually that's the perfect, we really in the Dharma, that's the perfect situation that we really want to learn. So not just learning the principle and not just doing the practice, we have to combine these two together. When we're doing things, then we have the basement of the principle that will support what's the meaning we're doing this. Then we will reflect the Dharma we learn. But if we only learn the Dharma without practicing, then what's the true meaning of a Buddhist? What's the true meaning of Buddhism? If we mention compassion without doing anything, then what's the meaning of compassion? So we have to make this principle to combine, integrate with the practice we're truly doing the daily. Then that's the perfect word that I think word Buddha wants us to practice, to really to prove in our real world. That's my thing.
So actually, for my definition to explain 以事显理 or 以理显事 for the practicing, I think I would like to give some example. Let's say if I cook fried rice for you to try, and after you eat and you say very delicious, how do you cook it? So if I show you, it's easy. You have to have cooked rice and you add on some beans or vegetables or add on some dark soy sauce, everything and all. I show you and we're practicing together. We are in the kitchen. I show you everything, how to do this. I think this is we are real practicing. So from this one, if you go back and if you go to the bookshop and you buy the recipe and you see the instruction, the methods, because when you go to the bookshop, you buy the croissant books, the recipe. I think it just show you you need ingredients, what kind of ingredients for fried rice, for pineapple fried rice. You need to have this. This is the first method. Your first, second, third. This is the principles. It's tell you the way. But it's just like conjunctivity. It's just like you're going to have a fried rice if you take action to cook. I think 以理显事 means you first I show you how to cook, and once you know the basic foundation. So when you look at some reference, or maybe you can get more understanding. So you have the practicing, and you already gone through the experience. Fried rice cannot, the heat cannot too high. You have to control in a medium or in lower heat, not too. Or if I say deep fried, you have to have the what they call, you have to have a high heat So if I say if you stir fry or scramble, so different way I say even though for eggs you cook eggs or boil egg or scramble or whatever. So I tell you the temperature you have to control. So it's just in a concept in the mind. So this is if we practicing and then through the practicing you get meaning of this principle. So this is the fourth way. So master say if I say a lot of Dharma words and she can say a very wondrous and very profound way how to explain this meaning. But if we only sit down and listen, we won't get much deep impression. But master she will teach us from the very deep profound meaning, and she said easy, you just go and try. Like master, I think she remember she always say Buddha come to this world with one great cause, because Buddha believe everyone have an intrinsic natural and a pure heart, because we all are a good person, but because we've been covered layer by layer of the affliction or ignorance. So that's why we cannot attain the Buddhahood as like the Buddha. So the words is very simple, and maybe you can speak more friendly than me, and you can 倒背如流, what master always mentioned. But why we say practice is not easy, because we only in theory, but we are not practicing. When you say, people cannot have a very strong 说服力, saying you say such a good word, but can you see? I didn't see you do what according to what you say. So master say we do what we say. So this is 理事前理. Yeah. And we say what we do is like we understand the principle, then we remember in our heart when next time when we're facing the problem, we remember, because we already plant the seed, the good seed is already planted in our mind. So when everything occur, we came out, I remember master mentioned this method. I would like to try to practice, see how it works. I'm not sure whether you can understand my explanation about this 以事前理 or 以理前事. So this is my a few of my personal opinions. Thank you, brother. So now it's just 8 o'clock sharp. It's passing.
One more question, one last question.
Okay.
The song came into my mind. 无上甚深微妙法，千万劫难遭遇啊！我今见闻难，愿受持啊 ，something like that. 愿解如来真实义。Is it what德皇 is trying to tell us on this? 愿 I mean 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Is it through a lot of work, like through practicing, we will realize the truth, direct experience?
I actually just few short verses come from China, the ancient, the imperial, one of the king, the Wu Zhe I think it came out from her this words. And actually, from my understanding, it's just like because once he met the Buddhists from India to China, and she found that the Buddha's teaching is very is very close to our life, to the time. So she say it's not easy. We face we can have a right time to receive the right Dharma in the right concept. So very appreciate these opportunities to listen or to learn the Buddha's teaching. and everything, the theory are so practically in the daily life. So very appreciate. This is what I can understand from these few words. So I'm not sure whether I've been answer your question or not, or I'll try to find out more in next time. So hopefully I can give you a very correct answer. So yeah, I think this is my answer for this question right now. But I will try to get some answer to support this your question. So give me some time.
Yeah, I think to add up, Master Zhe Huang, I think the brother mentioned, I think you already give yourself the answer. Just like I think this fourth phrase actually is the question what you mentioned is principle and the practice. So how you can really realize the 如来真实义, the true meaning, what the Buddha want to tell us. I think Buddha already tell us everything in the principle when he get enlightenment in his Sutra, in the essay, a lot of this book. But how can we really get realize the true meaning? I think the master showed us you need to put into practice. Then through the practice, you can really understand what's the true meaning that Buddha wants to tell us when he get enlightenment. So every one of us has this same Buddha nature. But how can we get enlightenment just like Buddha? Then we need to keep on practicing. One day we were in a sudden, we realized this is the true meaning of it. I believe that during each day of this, our volunteer go to do all kinds of help. I think little by little, or either great or small, but they gain something, realize, oh, this is what master told us through their working, their helping in each event. But we sums up, we accumulate all this. I believe one day each of us will, one by one, we will get enlightened, just like Buddha told us. We need to have deep faith on this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think time is being fast.
So I think it is already 7:08. So I just want to announce that each week we still have this review sharing with all of us. So, but we probably will shift, different master because they have different. We all have different responsibility doing our work. So we will, shift. But we still have the review weekly meeting to meet with each of the branch points to discuss each week. That we still have Xun Fa Xiang, don't forget. We still have Xun Fa Xiang, watch the video. So we will still come back to share what we got in this week. And also, we also request Brother Zhou Huang, if he hear anything, good story, or any kind of that, he think he is good to share with us, because right now he is a follow master to each city. So whatever he think is good for us, he will send back to us. Then we'll share with each of the branches.
Okay, so now we finish our sharing today. So please everyone stand up. Okay, let's palm our hand together, placing on the Buddha statue for 3 bow. First bow, second bow, third bow. Okay, thank you, and sister. Remember our Jing Dharma lineage is diligently, so we always say we're practicing the Dharma in our daily life. Thank you.
Cảm ơn.
See you all next week.